Hello, Mustang fans, and welcome to another episode of the Mustang Owners Podcast. I'm your host, John Clore, along with my co-host, Mike Ray. And whether you've heard of me from Auto Week Magazine or Ford SVT or Ford Racing or Ford Performance, or know of Mike through his time with Team Mustang, or maybe it was Roush or Celine, or now the Mustang Owners Club of Southeastern Michigan, we know you from your Mustang stories. And of course, I hope you've seen our Mustang Owners podcast from the coverage of Carlisle 2025. The Carlisle Ford Nationals was a special podcast for us because we did a live recording. Mike, that was so unique that people thought that was all just Carlisle crazy people, but that was just a fraction of what went on at that show.
Yeah, it was, but I was very, very pleased to be a big part of that, and I know the organizers got great feedback about us being there and doing it, and hoping to expand it for us for next year.
Yeah, so that live recording there, some of you made it, and you'll be on YouTube with us. I hope you go back and check out that episode. But for now, Mike, we can't really finish talking about Carlisle without talking about the Mustang footprint at Carlisle. So to help us do that, we enlisted our great friend, Joey Deladvitch. Joe Deladvitch is probably one of the finest shooters I have on FordPerformance.com, and he's been giving us great photos. Mike, I know you've been working with him with Moxham and your club for years, and boy, he really sees the cars through a picture postcard, like everyone's a piece of beauty.
Yeah, every one of his pictures, I always tell him, could be a magazine cover, and I think that's the way his mindset is, and just super, super talented in this world.
Yeah, so tonight, folks, we're going to take you through the Mustangs of Carlisle through the camera lens of Joe Deladvitch, the Ford Performance shooter there, who's Mike covered almost every single aspect of that show, if that was even possible. He even took some pictures of the live Mustang Owners podcast session we had up there in the hospitality tent. So let's take everyone for a little walk through the show through Joe Deladvitch's lens and take a look at some of the stuff he provided.
Yeah.
Okay, so first up, Mike, why does everybody have to go for the big guns?
Yeah.
You'd think they'd pick like a little 65 six-cylinder to start off our Mustang coverage.
Oh, they want the biggest, baddest beast out there, right?
So is this thing wicked or what?
Yeah, beautiful. I love the color combo.
The black and red is really cool. The little stripe, the silver on it, the wing, the snake in the front, the really low splitter. It tells you Mustangs mean business. And boy, they were sure a lot of horsepower at Carlisle.
Yeah.
Well, here's a friend of yours that brought a car out. Mike, I think when we were at the Detroit Auto Show, we first saw what kind of cars RTR might come up with, and then with the Ready to Rock Mustang offering is now out. What did you think?
Yeah, really, really great idea. I love watching Vaughn's growth within Ford. Great partnership, great guy. I mean, I can't speak high enough about Vaughn and RTR, and for them to partner with Ford on such a high level now internally, I think it's going to be great for the whole community.
Well, I know you're telling me the dealership does get foot traffic just because the RTR car is such relatively reasonable priced for the performance you get. But I'm still, for those of you out there, send me a note to clubhub@ford.com if you like the camo look. I know a lot of you guys with the new Mustang want your car to stand out. Mike, this stands out. So
yeah, it absolutely does.
Congrats to the RTR boys.
Yes.
Well,
another one.
So you don't have to get the camo, but Mike, it's really important that if you have a Mustang and you buy a Mustang GT, that there is some cue, something that tips you off, like we did at SVT. They weren't over the top, and they didn't have tons of stripes, but there are the fog lights, the fascia, little things that show, hey, my car is different. And I think this just had just the right touch when you get an RTR Mustang. What do you see that people like when they come into the showroom?
Everything about that car is just a wow factor, and the Spec 2s I believe are the most popular and very most affordable. The packages are around 17 grand, which is really, really affordable in this day and age for performance. And now they're doing special color options as well, so you can do custom colors, kind of like how Celine's been doing for years.
Oh yeah.
RTR's in that game now, and their big headline one that's been making its way around the show circuit is the Mystic. The Mystic Chrome, like from the Terminator days. So
now,
that's going to be a popular color.
Right, that should be no surprise to
Yeah,
listeners of the Mustang Owners podcast. If you go back through our series of podcasts, you'll see that we were at RTR when that was still in their garage, Mike,
yeah,
and we actually got it. So go back and check that episode out. But yeah, again, these guys are on a roll, and just keep it going, boys.
yeah.
Okay, now every once in a while, somebody comes up with it's just something off the hook. And when you don't make many of something, is the rarity really at play when it comes to Shelby Super Snakes?
Well, you got that whole Shelby army, Team Shelby, if you will, that's going to follow them, and that's all they're going to buy ever. And that is a great group of people to have, following your brand. They're going to love that car. You love the wide body. Look at the fenders on the rear.
Yeah.
It looks really nice and stands out, and just me looks muscle. I mean, it looks intimidating, and that's what the Shelby guys want.
Well, I feel badly for the kid that just bought his first six-cylinder SN95.
You got to make that ladder so they can come up to it.
But speaking of some outrageous, beautiful cars, every once in a while you see. I mean, there were a ton of Fox bodies there, and everybody knows Fox bodies are a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves them. But this car, there's something about, I don't know if it's the raspberry metallic, the gold wheels. There's just something about color combinations. And now I'm seeing Mike, there's some expensive Fox body paint jobs going around.
Oh, absolutely are. I mean, the Fox bodies, are one of the hottest cars in the market right now, and that's why Ford at Carlisle unveiled the FX program to pay homage to the Fox body era.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah.
So that FX car harkened back to, oh, look, we got white wheels. And
Yeah.
here we are with the summer edition, the special edition Mustangs.
Yeah.
And, all three of these cars had white wheels. I don't know if people, when they think of the first white wheeled Mustang, automatically think of the special edition Mustangs that came out with those available wheels as an option. But I know that in '77, the Mustang 2 had a white wheel option on the Cobra 2. It was the little star, the King Cobra style wheel.
Yeah.
They didn't originate on the Fox body, but you know what? When you see them on these summer edition cars, let's face it, Mike, they do stand out.
Oh, absolutely. The summer edition cars had them, and then the Celine's have had them forever as well.
Right.
And I love a white on white Celine with the white wheels. They look incredible.
Absolutely. Well, how can you have a Mustang show without at least having a couple of Mustang race cars?
Yeah, isn't that look gorgeous? I mean, just
you know,
that just screams heritage right there.
oh, an old boss style racer with the livery from the back in the glory days, and this car. I mean, I don't care if you knew what was under the hood or not. Just roll. You don't even have to step on it. You don't even have to. Just rolling down the street with screaming at you that I've competed in some of the greatest race series on earth. That's all you have to say when you have this Mustang.
Yep.
So, Mike, I know it rained, Carlisle. Oh my God, did it rain? But there were people who braved the rain, and even when it stopped, it wasn't really a clear sky. You'll see people put the top down on their Mustang and drive around. What is?
Yep.
The
convertibles guys were loving it. Yeah, that's a nice 70.
When you have a convertible, it's the top goes down and then the price goes up.
Yep.
Wow. Now, Mike.
Gorgeous. That's gorgeous.
Now, I know people were complaining. I think we did this on one of our mailbag episodes. How come the interiors are only brown and black? Gray. I want a red interior. Mike, there is something to be said for a red interior, especially in an early, first gen Mustang, a classic Mustang. There's just
especially that pony interior, right? Yeah.
There's something that pops. I don't know, and maybe it's too much for some of you, but give me red vinyl any day of the week.
Yeah.
So, Mike, you talk about this a lot, and I don't know if it's because you're such good friends with Mike Berardi, that super big horse collector that we know, the former Ford super engineer and director. But they had a bunch of big horses. I saw a beautiful Sprint. We had Boss 351s, you had Mach 1s, and as I think they're finally getting into their own.
Yep. And I picked one of the big horses as my celebrity pick choice at Carlisle this year.
Oh, I think you're right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another spectacularly, I think it was just recent, just got done being restored.
Yes.
Came to Carlisle, and then God gave it a free car wash for like 2 hours.
Yes.
Now, does everyone
The
need
patina, John, the patina.
don't don't talk to me about patina. All right, here's the deal. Do you need a $50,000 paint job? No. Do you need a Mako paint job? Not really. Do you need to have it matte black and murdered out? Not especially.
No.
Do you need, I mean, whatever. I think the cool thing about Carlisle, it's run what you brung, and
Yeah.
come
I
out
drive
with
that car right there all day long. I love it.
so you got brown oxide primer all over the car. You got flat paint. I have no issue with this. Mike, as a club president, would you turn this car down if they came to your?
Absolutely not. I'd probably offer to buy it.
Well,
I love it.
anybody that has a first-gen Mustang fastback knows that I don't care what color it is, as long as
Yeah.
the frame's holding together, you can
Yeah.
sell it for big money. It was cool to see a car that's maybe it's a project car, Mike, or maybe it's not.
Right.
Now here's one you kind of like, because
Yeah.
what did Gail Halderman tell us? Boy, there's nothing like a first-gen Mustang with poppy red paint.
Yeah.
And of course, the GT package, those lights. I don't care how, even if you're not a Ford fan, you have to admit the first Mustang is still pretty today.
Long deck, short, or long hood, short deck, right?
It's the whole dimension, the whole look. Cool today as it was 61 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, of course, when you're talking first-gen Mustangs, Mike, that car was up against, bigger engine Chevys and Pontiacs, and you guys couldn't hold a candle to a GTO. And so what did you do? Well, what we did is we knew some guy named Carroll Shelby, and what he did, he took, what did he call it, the secretary's car,
Right.
and he took that little small block Ford and he went and put it into the SCCA in '65. And oh, by the way, yes, he won the championship. So if you see any Shelby GT350, Mike, that's instant street cred, and that was the idea behind it.
Who was at Carlisle, John? Mr. Chuck Cantwell, right?
That's right.
So, yeah.
That's right. And by the way, Chuck wants to be on the Mustang Owners podcast.
Well, we'll have him on soon, and we'll talk about that car.
I think everybody deserves to have a little story told about this fantastic, the original Shelby GT350.
Yep.
Okay, now wait a second. Mike, you sell a lot of Mustangs, and you know what? When I see a S550 and anything other than the factory colors, and you see a bright orange car,
Yep.
I don't know maybe it's my years with SVT. I keep thinking of those Bondurant Cobras.
Yep.
And when I saw this car, I had to do a double take. Wait a minute. That's it just looks like a Bondurant race car to me when you see an S550 with a splitter and the big wheels and it's got the roundel on it. They want to go racing, Mike.
Or the S197 Parnelli Jones edition cars too. Remember those?
Beautiful.
Yep.
Okay, now wait a minute. Do you have to have your car painted or can it be wrapped?
Yeah, it doesn't matter these days. Whatever floats your boat. That's why Mustang's the most modified car there is in the world.
And folks, we did see, Mike, a lot of wrapped Mustangs.
Yes.
And maybe that's because you have a certain preference for a color, or maybe you don't know, you're not sure. You put the wrap on. They're not super expensive, Mike. It's a lot cheaper than an expensive paint job.
Oh, a third of the paint job price. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you really don't like it, you actually can take it off without destroying
It
your
does not
car.
damage your car. That's correct.
Yeah. So I like the fact that we saw some really cool hues and all kinds of experiments with the wrap Mustang.
Yep.
Where's Dave Parasak when you need him?
Right. There you go.
All right. So those of you who remember we came back with the Boss in 2012 and 2013, and that was Dave's car, and there were the Boss 302 S's, with the big wings on them. Mike, these cars are still, even after the years of this car being out for all these years, and we've gone to different bigger engines and bigger powertrains, there's something about the balance in a Boss 302 with a naturally aspirated engine on the track that I think really attracts people. for that
Yeah,
generation
and
now.
if you remember, John, when those cars came back out, that was the best balanced Mustang ever. I believe it had 444 horsepower and just balanced from top to bottom.
Yeah, I say what you will about the big supercharged cars, but there's something about on cam on a naturally aspirated, good old American V8, and those things they sound so great.
Yeah,
Once you have a car like that, I don't think it's really going to be hard to sell it.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, we saw a poll. We did see that Mike. Ever since I believe the late '80s,
yeah.
most big uh, media companies that do polls on Mustangs say as much as they love Gail Halderman's first design, the most iconic design there was, that their favorite was the what they call first gen B,
Yeah,
which was the 67, 68s, and
yeah.
especially the fastback, as as iconic as the bullet cars are. We can see why that happened. And I'll tell you what, you cannot argue with anybody that has a 67 or 68 fastback. They're just,
You just brought up a great point, John. When you said first generation B, I remember I had to do a report when I was on the launch team about the history of Mustang, and yeah, so like there's four A, B, C, and D for first gen. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's nice to break them down, and maybe we do an episode on that in the future too.
yeah.
Of do the breakdown within the generations.
Yeah, I love to see those YouTube channels that show, well, the first generation was 65, 66. Then the
Yeah,
second generation Mustang was 67, 68.
yeah,
Man,
yeah. It'd be nice to actually address that and go through all the sub generations within it.
absolutely. If you want to see that, folks, send it to us at clubhub@ford.com and we'll do an episode on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that car. Now,
Uh-oh. There you go, John.
the problem is, Mike, it still doesn't, the Mustang 2s don't get any respect even to this day, even though we've passed the bubble. Several King Cobras have been selling for $30,000 and $40,000. Some of them at $50,000, depending on the low mileage. The Cobra 2s are, yeah, they're collected. I own a couple of them. But, you got to give credit. Even the little standard Gias, if they're
Yep.
stock, there's some good money. But the guys who don't have a lot of money, who just buy a standard little Gia 4-cylinder, maybe it's an 8, who knows?
Yeah.
And they try to put stripes on them, and a lot of people didn't like the notchback look on the 2. They preferred the fastback. But I just love this community, right? I know this year they're up in Wisconsin celebrating Mustang 2 Reunion 10, Mike. Look what you
Yeah, it's
started
crazy.
10 years ago, Mike. You started it over at
Yeah.
the Mustang Memory Show at World Headquarters.
Yep.
And the fandom for second gens are still there. Keep it going, brothers.
Yes.
Okay, so somebody told me that when they got up on the hill, Mike,
Yeah.
after like sometime in midday, before the rain came on Saturday, and they looked down on the main show field, which Mustang dominated this year, they
Yeah.
put the rest of the cars elsewhere. They said because of Mustang's color schemes, it looked like somebody dropped a bag of Skittles down there.
Yeah. It was very, very true. And I know I witnessed that myself.
So just to see these colorful Mustang,
Yeah, that's a great picture to
they
show that
just
off right
pop.
there.
So
Yeah.
for all you guys with your silver BMWs, you can get lost in the crowd when it gets dark.
There you go.
Well, Fox bodies are Fox bodies, and people don't realize that there's a big following for Capris. And did they have a collection of them there, Mike?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then especially inside the building too, where they had the pace cars.
Yeah.
What a great, great display this year.
Well, a lot of people didn't realize that Lincoln Mercury got really interested in the motorsports end of promoting their Mercury Capri versions of the Fox bodies. They had the RS car, the black and gold, but they were really into the motorsports end because they were looking for a way to differentiate Lincoln Mercury Fox body Capris from the Mustangs. And I think the motorsports stuff is still cool. I'm really happy a lot of these guys collected these cars.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so we talk about this way too much, Mike, but let's just get down and dirty with it. I really thought that S550 would be second for the longest time to S197s when it comes to people wanting to go high end, go put money in their car, go race it, modify it. But Mike, I'm S550 is scaring me how many people are actually modding these cars and having companies come up just around specific builds. Something's going on with 550 and 650.
Yeah, and they got so much pushback. Remember when that design came out for the 550, and now everybody loves it and they can't get enough of it.
Well, buy me one, will you?
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
Oh wow. Okay, so we went down the row, and I know they had there's a club competition at Carlisle. Every year the bigger clubs, the Focal Jet guys, the Focus guys, they have a big footprint. Thunderbird always does, Mike. The color registries did for many years.
Yeah.
Um, but Team Shelby, they come out in force. They get their Big Ten out there, and they get a lot of cars. But what people don't realize, that's just the Carlisle is the exclamation point for Team Shelby, because that's really part of the last vestiges of their East Coast Nationals. So they've
Right.
been up on the track earlier in the week. They've been going places, and they wind up here as their exclamation point to the weekend.
Yeah, but we got to get Bill Karen on too, who runs the East Coast Nationals for Team Shelby. We got to get him on as a special guest. Yeah, and it's been Team Shelby and Venom, the Venom Outlaws, going back and forth
Yeah.
about most cars there, and Venom beat him this year by one car.
And congrats to those guys for winning Coolest Club Hangout. But how can you beat that? But yeah, Team Shelby, congrats again. Great showing as always at Carlisle. Oh, wait a minute. This guy's a climber?
Yeah, that's up there, huh?
So it's good to know that maybe he's considering Pikes Peak.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, any Shelby, these guys can compete in any kind of event. Mike, this year out in California, I understand SAC is celebrating their 50th convention. I mean, 50
Yeah.
years of Shelby Mustangs. And it's just, even though they're not in market this year, the association we've had with that man, it's made for some very great Mustangs. When you go to a show like Carlisle, you can't help but just be attracted to them.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
okay. So you like
Thank you,
Mustangs.
Mr. Owens.
Yeah. Do you like Mustangs? So whose idea? We didn't have the GT in market. We want to go race in Le Mans. How did they come up with the idea to make the GTD Mustang a hand-built exotic car to go up against the world's greatest? Maybe go beat Ferrari, as far as I know. To
Yeah.
maybe be made up in Canada by Multimatic. Mike, did the GTD and the people around this car? There were so many people getting photos by this thing. I'm surprised Joe could take a picture of a GTD with that beautiful Mustang backdrop.
I'm going to go on a limb here and say that was definitely the most photographed picked car down there.
Yeah, I mean, given their price, yeah, you won't be seeing these up and down the street every day. Very
Yeah.
cool. Well, God bless Jim Owens,
Yeah.
and a longtime Mustang brand manager. He also worked for Shelby, and now being the GTD manager, who's now leaving Ford very shortly. Just what a car to sell, and I know everybody wants one, but that's like a winning lottery ticket. Everybody
Talking
wants.
about going out on top, right?
Yeah, that is just the colors on this car. Oh man, these cars are so beautiful.
I got to give that quick analogy. Michael Jordan's last shot, which won the championship. Jim's last duty was GTD, and boy, that's the top of Mustangs.
Yeah, one day I will own one, but unfortunately, Mike, I'll tell the audience today. I'll come out and say
I did play the lottery, so keep your fingers
well,
crossed.
mine won't be through them. I will be able to get one very shortly, and it's because it's 1/18th scale. There you go. Now you're into my neighborhood, Mike. What did you say? You said years ago when Moxham started looking to get young people in the hobby, you said, "Hey, it's not that tough. You don't have to go spend an $80,000 car. You
Right.
can go get into a fourth generation, the Ken Dombrowski, John Coletti, Bud McGauley, Emmeline King, SN95 Mustang. Mike, I think you can still get these for what, $6, $8, $10,000?
Yeah, it's evolved from the Fox body to the SN95s now as the entry level Mustang for people to just get into the hobby, to make it affordable and to do what they want to do their own car, right? They're gonna make it their own.
Well, I mean, there are some really exotic SN95s. You could have an Indy Pace car, there are
Yeah.
SVT Cobras, but we'll have Ken Dombrowski on, the vice president, when he was doing small car at Ford, to put together that Skunk Works to kick that Japanese powered Mustang out the door, and no such thing. Made that the probe and brought in the SN95. But thank God for these cars. There were plenty of them there. They're the entry-level car to get into the hobby because Fox bodies, thank you, Mike Ray, are way too expensive now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the SN95s. And boy, if you want to go mod them, there's some catalog like American Muscle. You can buy everything for these.
Yep.
Great cars.
Oh boy.
Okay, so if there was any exclamation point on the years of the Fox bodies when it ended in 1993,
That's it.
You can thank the special vehicle team for doing that. The 1993 SVT Mustang Cobra, Janine Bay, thank you for, she was on the podcast. So you want to hear about this car, how we evolved from the SAC Mark II, Ken Eber and Rick Kopech and those guys. But these 93 Cobras, Mike, I just heard that a teal blue 93 Cobra just went over the block. I think it was right around $100,000.
Yeah, they're breaking the $100,000 mark easily these days on 93 Cobras. And remember, you can only get them in red, black, or teal.
Yeah, that 93. Oh God. Yeah. So if you own one of these, you owe Mike and I a beer just because you're luckier than we are.
Beautiful car. Still makes me drool.
Now, the nice thing about SN95s is just like we did like Ford Motor Company did for the Fox body, by giving an exclamation point with its Cobra at the end of that model run. At the end of the SN95 run, what did John Coletti do at SVT? He didn't just build a Mustang Cobra to get rid of the Camaro.
Right.
He terminated it.
Yes.
And these
What the most appropriate name ever.
Yeah, the Terminator Cobras, they're just very distinctive lower front fascia, and that with that Terminator engine, putting a blower on the Mustang changed its personality forever.
That rear end on that car.
Oh yeah,
those huge exhaust tips and those fat tires. Yes.
There's no way. To me, I mean, that was like jumping the Grand Canyon with a product development car, and John Coletti changed that all by putting that supercharged Mustang out there and putting an exclamation point on the SN95 life with Terminators, and to see them at Carlisle was great.
Yep. There you go. There's back to Vaughn.
Okay, so what? I mean, he started out by doing iconic cars. You know?
Yeah, that's one of Vaughn's babies right there. Like his little toy he likes to play with.
So he makes a drifter, but Mike, anybody can take a Datsun Z car, make something cool out of it. But he really harkened back to Mustang heritage to go back to these early 70s cars.
Yeah.
And to do a Hoonigan, just to do a drifting car that you go out and you're seen in championships, I think that really separated him, put him on the map. And this car was such a great show car. The downdrafts.
It still is to this day.
It is. What a crowd that draws.
There it is.
There we go. So people were, hey, we heard there's a product announcement at the Carlisle Ford Nationals 2025. Yes, there was. And that was the FX Mustang package for 2026, Mike?
Yep. And the order banks just opened yesterday.
So the order banks are open. You can order a 2026 Mustang FX package car.
Yep. And just as a little side note, if you just love that color, you can get that color without the FX package. So if you just want it on your EcoBoost or on your GT or on your Dark Horse, you can get that color.
That metallic is so strong in that blue, but I think, Mike, it works well with the white wheels, the white trim. And somebody
Great
told
combo.
me, yeah, and that's why they parked it next to that teal Cobra.
Yep, to the 93 Cobra, yep.
But Mike, maybe you can validate this or not. Somebody came up to me and said, I have a secret and you can tell me if it's the truth. I said, what is it? He goes, I know what the FX stands for. He said, I said, what, do you mean the FX package? He goes, yeah, and unlike on the F-150, when you have FX4 or FX package, he goes, you know what that means on the Mustang? I said, no, tell me. He said, it's the FX without the O. It's Fox.
Thanks.
So here's what I'm telling to you. So all of you who come up to us and tell us your secrets, please don't spread those kinds of rumors.
Right.
I would venture to say no. But thanks anyway. So Mike, it rained. It was hot. It was crowded. It didn't set a record for the first time in several years. But there's just something about as you go up the hill, you look down into the show field, you're at the Carlisle Fairgrounds. It's the first full weekend in June. What more could you want out of life than the treat for the eyes that you see on an all Ford show field.
Yeah, they just go on for miles, don't they?
I can't wait
As far
till,
as the eye can see.
yeah, and I can't wait till folks get the chance to just drive along with us on the golf cart, just for the crazy banter, just for the crazy stuff you see. Mike, if they don't go to Carlisle, they're not living.
Right.
So another question for those folks out there that love to have their cars. What I like to see is people that personalize their Mustang, and if you're lucky enough to have Greenlight or Ertl or some big car making company make you 1/18th scale or even a 1/24th of your Mustang, and you happen to have it made exactly like yours,
Yeah.
I say you all need to go take that model car and put it on your air cleaner and open your hood, because I wish they made a model of my Mustangs, but I always pick the wrong colors and the wrong cars.
Yeah, I've seen those for many, many, many years, and it's really
Yeah,
cool.
that's the way to do it. Put your models out there, because that shows you're proud in whatever scale. Now, when you talk about Mustang engines, Mike, there's something about seeing a Mustang Cobra Jet, a '68,
Yeah.
winner of the Winter Nationals, and this car changed Mustang personality forever. The 428 into the Mustang made us from, say what you will about the 390 guys, we still love you, but the 428 turned us into an honest to God muscle cars. It's great to see a Cobra Jet race car at the Carlisle National.
I love seeing those heritage cars.
Now we're coming into ours. Mike, somebody told me that even though I see you a lot and I've seen you at shows a lot, you're always driving that damn Bronco. You have a really nice '05, and I had an '06. I took it all over this summer, except for last week when the '06 said to me, John, I'm old, and I don't feel like running my air conditioner anymore. But the S, let's face it, the S197s, they're among my favorites and always will be.
Yeah, me too.
Now wait a minute, you guys with the Fox bodies, I realize a lot of you raced them. Kenny Brown raced them. Steve Saline raced them. But Mike, you don't really see a lot of these guys that make these race cars on the street, or do they drive these on the street? I think they can. Do you see them at
Yeah.
your track days?
Yeah, and I'm wondering if the car looks familiar to me. Do we see that one down at Ponies, maybe?
I think we did.
Yeah, that one looks familiar.
So if you're tracking your Fox body, whether it's a 4i or a later Cobra, by all means, bring it to the car shows. But these aren't just rolling in your 5.0 on the street at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night.
Right.
Oh.
There we go.
All right, don't you know some people like this Joey Duncan
Joey and Aaron, there you go. That's her car.
and then his brother Aaron, the Duncan brothers customs, they were crazy to begin with. But
Yeah.
when we first saw this car, didn't we spot it at the Detroit Autorama?
Yep, that's where they unveiled it, the Franken-Snake. Yep, it was unveiled at Autorama, and they did a nice live walk around in front of the grandstand at Carlisle this year.
Well, then they got hooked up with Bill Toomas, who was our super YouTube star from CJ Pony Parts, and now is part of the Duncan brothers machine.
And turned 14. Yep.
Snake. Folks, it might look like a really wild custom Shelby from the '70s, but start looking at it. Wait a minute, that's a Ford GT side scoop, and Mike, underneath all that, yeah, that's an S197.
I think it's like 22 different cars they have, and it's usually around that number when they do any build. So it's really kind of cool. And to hear Aaron give all the different things, and people are like wowed about how they can do that. And
Yeah, I mean, he borrows scoops from GTOs, and I mean,
gas caps from Windstars. Yeah.
What a super, what a great kid. We just love hanging with him, except when he eats hot wings. I'm not hanging out with him. But hats off to the Duncan brothers and Franken-Snake.
Yeah.
Again, when we drive around, Mike, I think what really, the kids, when they come to Carlisle, they see rows and rows of cars, but I think what really attracts them is an outstanding color, whether it's a grabber color, whether it's a stripe combination, the wheels. And I think part of Mustang's appeal has always been, get yourself a bold color, throw some graphics on it, and go be yourself.
Yeah, and like you said about the Skittles comment, that's another great picture to describe that.
Yeah. Now, not everybody, Mike, has a fastback. Not everybody drives around with a big block. But every single Mustang, if it's first gen, whether it be 1A, 1B, 1C, or even second gens, every one of them is super collectible. And to see just a hardtop, part of that, the family stories. And what did we call this show? It's the whole show about everybody having a Mustang story. I
Yep.
bet you that green Mustang hardtop's got a great Mustang story.
It was creating one right there.
Yep. Okay, now Mike, how about I don't know if you're into the loving selling all these brand new Mustangs, but the Dark Horse, I was kind of surprised when we came up with a brand new name for a new Mustang powerhouse.
Yeah,
And we
new
didn't
iconic
borrow it
name.
from
Yeah.
the past. What do you think? What's the consumer reaction when they come in and look at that Dark Horse?
Oh, everybody loves the dark horses. I still have two in stock right now, and there's not a day that goes by that someone doesn't come in, open the door, sit in it, and just be in awe. And yeah, I think it's got a great review so far since this came out.
Well, get them while you can before they make us all drive hydrogen-powered rickshaws.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
boy.
Okay, we talk about Ford performance and Ford racing. Mustang's a great career in racing. Well, it all started here with the Holman and Moody Mustang Tour de France race car that went out over into Europe and actually won the very first international car race in a Ford Mustang body in 1964. Mike, having that replica car, Holman and Moody brought that car with them. I know our great friend Marcy Cipriani, she owns this beautiful 64 and a half. And Mike, as far as I can tell, the guys over at Holman Moody, Bob and Mark and Lee himself, this car is as close to the exact race car that they raced back in 1964 with the Tour de France Mustang.
Yeah, and Seth Watkins put a ton of time and energy into that car and that build. And my favorite was the bonnet strap on the car. So definitely really cool. And hats off to the guys at Holman Moody for coming up with such a huge icon vehicle.
Yeah, for those of you out there who think you know Mustang racing, don't say a word until you check out the Holman and Moody Tour de France replica. And what a great car. What a great history it has. And that's where it all started. Like, what a Tour de France. That was Tour de Carlisle.
Yeah, that's cool that was the ending picture. Very fitting and saved the best for last, in my opinion.
Well, again, our thanks to Joe Deladvitch, who took those fabulous photos of Carlisle and all the Mustangs at Carlisle. Of course, he's going to have all his coverage of the Fords, the Broncos, all the other things that, Mike, there's just way more than just Mustangs at that show. And maybe people should tune in to our live podcast there from the Carlisle Ford Nationals and maybe watch us drive along in the cart. And we always love having content from Carlisle.
Yep.
So I hope you enjoyed that, folks, for the little tour of Tour de France and Tour de Carlisle. The Carlisle Ford Nationals 2025. We make sure if you click like on this podcast tonight, because if you don't like this, you ain't a Mustanger. And make sure you stay tuned and subscribe for more unique Mustang content that you can only get here on the Mustang podcast. Make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss it. So until next time, we're just going to have to catch you guys down the road.